Good evening. Welcome to Satsang. Welcome. Simone, can you hear me? Thank you. If you are here for the very first time in a satsang, I would like to tell you, what am I doing here? You know, I'm nobody special. I'm somebody just like you. And I, as a normal person, I experienced in this life how to find true happiness, true contentment. With true happiness, with true contentment, I mean something which is not dependent on the outside circumstances, not dependent on the situation or on people or on this body. A fundament, a ground, which is not part of this world. And I like to say, if I can find this, you can find this too. And maybe you already found it. But if not, then I talk about how I found it and what I'm doing. And maybe there is something in it where you feel resonance and which is also for you. It's interesting, you know, this thing with contentment, with true happiness. You cannot find, maybe you know this already, you cannot find true contentment anywhere out there in the world. Maybe you were married a couple of times, then you know what I'm talking about. No matter how beautiful it is with other people, it doesn't make you happy truly forever, independent of other people and of the circumstances. And the same is true for money, for success, for anything you can find there. In order to find true contentment, one has to turn inside, one has to become introvert. Not in your behavior, not in your personality, but in where you are looking for happiness. And this turning inside may be something you don't even know what I'm talking about. This turning inside, a human being cannot do by himself or by herself. This happens when somebody else who is already there touches you. And then suddenly you know. This happens through a Jesus, through a guru, through a master, or whatever. God is very creative. And then you know. Then for the first time in your life, you have been turned inside. And suddenly you experience a moment or a time of complete contentment. The absence of problems, a true happiness, not this festive happiness, but quiet, deep, and eternal. And then you forget again, because the world is so loud and so insistive and so important, and we are not used to anything else. And I'm here to tell you how you can find this. I'm here to remind you that you have found it again and again and again. I'm not a guru. I'm not a Jesus. I'm just like you. But this is now possible for us normal people. Normal people who work, who have a family, who are married. And to those people, I'm speaking as one of those people. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's why I make videos. And that's why I give satsang. To tell you that this is possible. And it's easy. It takes time, but it's not difficult. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And it's the only thing which lasts. Everything you have in this life, everything you will gain in this life will be lost at some point. But this is what you find inside when you turn inside, and this ability to turn inside. This is something which is eternal. This will never leave you. That's why it's worthwhile to do anything for this. All the rest is not worth anything in the end. Yeah, that's why I'm here. If you like, you can ask me questions. You can do this in the chat of YouTube or Zoom. You can also speak to me on Zoom if you like. And I'm totally happy to listen to your answer, the question, and to give you some input if I can. And if you watch this satsang later, not live, but when you watch the recording, I invite you to write to me if you have questions about what I'm sharing here, or if you have questions about your life or your spiritual path. I'm delighted to receive your question, and I'm delighted to answer you. Either in the next satsang, in 4 weeks, there's the next English online satsang, or in a video. And if there's no question from the audience tonight, I have a few emails which I can read out and answer. Yeah, so much as an introduction for tonight. We do this now till 9:30, and I'm totally happy to be here with you, and I'm delighted that you are here. Simone, do we have something to read out, or should I start with something?
Yes, we have a question from Jim.
Oh, how beautiful. Hello, Simone.
Good evening. So Jim has sent a question which I will read out now.
Yes, please.
Dear Michael, can a relationship with a partner actually end? In my case, it happened that we stopped seeing each other. She cut off contact. On the surface, my ego mostly didn't like her, which is okay. But on a deeper level, I still love her. Now, my mind is very active and talks a lot. My feeling is to let go of thoughts and let life take over. Could you please comment? Thanks. Love, Jim.
Good evening, Jim. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your question. Would you please read out the question one more time for me?
Of course. Dear Michael, can a relationship with a partner actually end? In my case, it happened that we stopped seeing each other. She cut off contact. On the surface, my ego mostly didn't like her, which is okay. But on a deeper level, I still love her. Now my mind is very active and talks a lot. My feeling is to let go of thoughts and let life take over. Could you please comment? Thanks, love, Jim.
Thank you, Simone. Well, the thing with relationship is this: you cannot end a relationship. And your ex-partner cannot end a relationship either. She can break off contact if she wants, but the relationship is still there. Relationships end when they end. They end for you. This relationship ends for you when you are through with it inside. And you're not. You say that you want to let go of the thoughts and let life take over. Yes. There's nothing to think about. You don't need to think about why this happened. You don't need to think about what you liked, what you didn't like. You don't have to think about what you did wrong or maybe she did wrong. This is all not necessary. Ignore the thoughts, just don't give them attention when they come. And let life take over. Just be in the moment. Feel your feelings, if there are feelings. Maybe you're sad, maybe you're angry, who knows? Maybe you're happy, maybe you're lonely, I don't know. But whatever feeling is here, it doesn't matter which one. Just allow it. The feelings do the work. If there's anything left over, if there's anything not finished inside of you with this relationship, then the feelings will do the work. If you just feel them without thinking about them. It's no big deal. It's easy. And if you want, you can try to meditate. I don't know whether you know the meditation I'm talking about all the time, the Samarpa meditation. This will help you immensely in this task of ignoring your thoughts. And just rest in yourself without giving attention to the thoughts. This is really helpful in such a liberation. And you're right. In a way, a relationship never ends. I don't think about my past relationships, but once in a while they come up and I feel that the relationship is still there. Every human being I had a relationship with in this life, I'm still connected with this human being. I'm still connected with the soul. I still love her. All of them. No matter how the relationship ended. Today there's just love. And sometimes pain when I remember how I behaved or what I did or what I didn't do. But I'm willing to feel all this. Yeah, you're on the right track. Thank you, Jim. I'm very happy that you are here.
Michael, there's Linda who wanted to send a question via YouTube, but apparently it didn't work out, and so she wrote that she has sent you an email just, I think, like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, let me check. This is easy.
Yes,
One
and
moment.
so she asked if it would be possible.
Yeah, one
Read
moment.
out now. Thank you.
Let me check. There it is. Okay, let's see. Let me see whether I can read this. Okay, I read out the email from Linda. Beloved Michael, I need your wisdom and insight on a current situation. For the last year, I have been assisting an elderly couple who lives next door to me. The husband had a stroke and is unable to do anything anymore. He controlled everything in the past and was in charge of taking care of everything: bill paying, grocery shopping, online shopping, driving, and so on. The wife was totally dependent on him for everything. Since his stroke, I have assisted the wife with all these tasks her husband used to do. For the most part, I have been happy to help, yet there are infrequent moments when I am tired and wish to never be bothered again and be free of this entanglement. And just recently, I was asked to do something I was not comfortable doing, and I finally, acquiesced and gave into the wife's need, and I found this has made me quite unhappy. I haven't felt this kind of unhappiness in years, and I found that I can only surrender this to God now, because I don't know what else to do. Incidentally, they have no family members that can help, and they are pretty much alone, other than my assistants and another neighbor down the street that helps as well. But I'm really their main go-to. I know there are lessons for me to learn here, and that is that the situation isn't haphazard, that life, God put this on my path. But your thoughts on this would help me greatly and give me some comfort. Thank you for the satsang, and thank you for your wisdom. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for your trust. Let's see how far my wisdom goes tonight. You know, in the beginning of the satsang, I spoke about contentment. Rather than giving you an answer, I would like to tell you how you can find the answer. When you meditate, when you rest in yourself, in meditation or during the day, it doesn't matter. Find this contentment inside of you. You just sit there and you notice, wow, I'm happy. I'm content. I don't need anything in this life. I found God inside. I'm complete. I'm happy. And when you are at this point, where you don't need anything, and where you are content, as if life could end now, you know, this is how it feels to me, then you know how to deal with anything which comes from the outside. then you just know. But if you're not resting in your contentment, if you're looking for anything, you will be confused. Anything which happens totally easily confuses us. But if you don't want anything from anybody, then you are relaxed, then you are independent. And my personal experience is that then you can get really creative. It just happens by itself. How this creativity plays out in your case, I don't know. You will find out. But my advice to you is start there. Start by returning to this point where you are resting in your contentment, in your inner. At this point where, I know that you know this, you know this point, you know this resting place. Yeah, and then give it to God. Yeah, when I, and this is my second point to you, I know this so well. When I'm in a situation where I don't know what to do, I say, hey God, you have to show me totally clearly and unmistakably if you want me to do something. Because if you don't, I won't do anything. I'm just sitting here because I don't know what to do. And my experience is that my soul, God, speaks very clearly to me if something needs to be done. Sometimes I have this, your example is rather serious, but I want to give you a very unserious example, because the soul and God takes care of everything, the small details and the big things. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes I'm in the kitchen and I'm fed up with something. I think, I don't have the desire to clean up again. The others can do this today. And then I just leave the kitchen and go into my office or whatever. I'm true to myself. I don't want to do this. Okay, fine. And I'm sitting in my office, and then my soul speaks to me. And my soul speaks very clearly, not in words, but in feelings. And I'm sitting in my office. Maybe I'm proud of myself, but I'm not happy. I'm sad. And I feel like an idiot, like a jerk. And then I get up, I go to the kitchen, I clean the kitchen, and I'm happy. I don't listen to my thoughts. Just to this energy, my soul, your soul speaks in energy. And listen to that. You can do anything. You can say yes, you can say no, you can help, you cannot help. And then very quickly you know whether your soul is happy with you or not. And you experienced this, You betrayed yourself and you felt just sad. Another time, tomorrow, it might be different. And that's the third point I want to tell you. Don't draw any conclusions, don't make any plans. You don't have to decide now how you will handle this in the future. You just experienced what happens when you ignore your soul in the moment. And then you know how it feels. But you don't know what your soul tells you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Just stay in the moment and learn to listen to that what you experienced in your report. Yeah, this clear indication you can sometimes feel in you, which tells you what's up for you right now. Yeah, that's the direction. I don't know whether this was wise, but that's what came. Thank you, Linda. I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you so much.
Michael, I would like to read out some feedback from Jim.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Michael, for your comment. Yes, the meditation brought me on the right track. I will meditate, feel my feelings, and ignore the thoughts. I'm so glad. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. I'm totally happy. Simone?
At the moment, I have no other question to read.
Okay. Then I will start reading something here from my end. I received an email from America, from the United States. I'm almost 80 years old now. In my 20s and 30s, I suffered from ever-present severe anxiety and panic attacks, and I was truly afraid of going crazy. In an attempt to desperately control the mind and to blank it out, I began repeating certain phrases that seemed comforting, over and over again. The Lord's Prayer, the Jesus Prayer, all kinds of spiritual sayings. After I met Mother Mira, it was her name for many years. Hundreds of times, thousands of times each day. It became an anchor to hold onto in a tossing sea. While the anxiety has left, this citing of a phrase has remained a habit. I turn to it automatically to stop the mind, or when occasional fear arises. Now it has become, I'm a holy soul, sometimes Swamiji's name, sometimes a phrase from your satsangs, and so on, but mostly the soul mantra. And I used these, and especially the later, for many years during the Samapan meditation, until Swamiji said not to do this. I don't really understand this instruction. Is this thinking? Right now, part of every meditation is spent with trying to resist these phrases, which automatically rise in the mind, or with questioning why this is wrong. Thank you. I'm delighted to hear from you. You know, all these things are not wrong. People use all kinds of things to help them deal with something they don't know how to deal with otherwise. Constant reciting of things. Some people have things on their body, amulets or rings or whatever, where they have the feeling they help them. They have pictures around, they have statues around, all kinds of external things which help them focus away from their mind and from their fear and other feelings. So there's nothing really wrong with it. You just need to know that this is just like a painkiller. Yeah? When you have a headache and you just don't know how to help yourself in any other way, then you just take a painkiller. But it's not a therapy. You ask, is this the mind? Yeah, of course. You keep the mind busy with something, so the mind doesn't bother you too much. But meditation, this is not meditation, no. In meditation, in meditation you don't do anything. You don't speak, not with the mouth, but also not with the thoughts. And you don't listen to anything. I have somebody who wants, what is this? So, in meditation, that's what happens in meditation. When you stop doing anything, you stop listening to your thoughts, you stop entertaining your mind, you stop doing anything. You're just resting in not doing anything. That's meditation. Swamiji was asked whether it's okay to repeat the soul mantra during the day. Outside of, not for those who don't know this mantra is used in the beginning of Samarpan meditation. Yeah, when you sit down for Samarpan meditation, you sit down, you close your eyes, and then you repeat this mantra, I am a holy soul, I am a pure soul, 3 times. And then you go with your attention to the crown chakra inside, and there you rest, quietly. And then Swamiji was asked, is it okay to repeat this mantra also during the day? Not just in the beginning of the meditation. And he said, no, don't do this. This mantra is supposed to bring you inside. So when you sit down for meditation, you repeat this mantra 3 times to remind you who you really are. So this mantra, these words, spoken once, bring you inside. And then you are quiet. But if you use this mantra during the day when you are active, you're not using it to come inside. You're busy with other things. And then you're abusing the mantra. You're using it for something else. And then it cannot help you in its actual purpose. Yeah, when you use this mantra as entertainment during the day, it will have no effect when you sit down for meditation. That's why he said this. Use this mantra only for this purpose, when you want to be brought inside. And then maybe you meditate, and at some point in the meditation you feel so lost. And I heard Swamiji say that, okay, then just say this mantra one more time. So it brings you back inside. But my feeling is that its purpose is not to be repeated all the time. This is not meditation, as far as I know. You know, in your 20s and 30s, when you had this amazing challenge of this anxiety and this crazy mind, that was the time where these things were helpful. Yeah, that was the best you could do. But you say, these times are over. Now you don't have this anymore. Now it's just a habit of the mind. And you don't need this. It's much nicer to be quiet inside. So if you can, try it out, how it is to be quiet. It's lovely. Just try it out a little, totally quiet. There's nothing better. Thank you for writing. I send you greetings and blessings over the ocean. Thank you. I don't hear you, Simone.
So, I have no question to read out, but I want to read the feedback of Linda.
Yes, please.
She writes, the kitchen dish example was brilliant. That's exactly what has given me great comfort. I'm at peace now.
Yeah, it's funny. I was done with the answer, but then this memory of this incident here came up, and I didn't want to say it, but it kept knocking, and then I just listened to it. I'm happy. Thank you for the feedback. And you had a question to read out, Simone?
No, I didn't have a question.
Okay, good. Then I go on. Thank you. Here's a comment I received on YouTube on the video, The Source of Peace. You described the struggle to meditate so beautifully. Thank you. My question is, why are we made in such a way that it is nearly impossible to hear the silence and the divinity of our hidden true self? Why is it so buried under mountains of thoughts? What is this force that rises up to impede silence and the connection to God? Are we trapped in a level of hell in which it is made to be nearly impossible to get to Christ? I'm sure there are realms where only one's will to sit inside silence is met with help from our higher selves and angels, and not challenge after challenge. In short, I want to understand, where are we and why? Thank you. I love these practical, honest questions. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much help we have. You have no idea. You just can't see it. And you ask, why? Where are we? And why is it like this? if you give attention to these questions, you are trapped. The answers are in the opposite direction. The answers don't come from the questions. The answer and the liberation comes when you ignore the questions and when you are where you are. My beloved spiritual master Soham had a great picture for this. I think he uses it still to this day, I'm not sure. But I heard him say this many times. You have the feeling you have to fight. You have to fight the resistance of the mind. You have to fight your way to God. You have to understand why and where you are. But it's the fighting which is the trap. It's the wanting to understand which is the trap. As soon as you stop fighting, as soon as you accept and just be where you are and stop moving, just accepting where you are, you are being liberated. And the picture Soham uses is, it's like you are in a funnel, like where the sand constantly flows downwards into a hole, and you desperately try to run up the steep sand walls around this funnel, around this, like in German it's Trichter. I'm not sure what the right word is. So you desperately try to climb up, but you can't. And the more you climb up, the more the sand comes down, and it's an endless, eternal struggle. But as soon as you stop, you flow down with the sand, and you fall out at the bottom into freedom. The freedom is there where what you try to avoid. Just be where you are. Stop asking questions. Make peace with not knowing. It's only these questions, it's only this fighting which makes your life into a hell. Yes, yeah, that's your hell. That thing inside of you who wants to help you and who wants to liberate you, that's the hell. Just ignore that. And when you do this, and a great tool for this is the meditation, of course, then you will understand the answer to the other questions you have. Why life is like this. When you stop fighting, when you decide to just be where you are and let life be exactly as it is right now, no resistance anymore, then you will discover the answer. I could talk about the answer for a long time, but it wouldn't make any sense to you. That's why I don't. But when you experience it yourself, it's totally clear. Oh wow, what an amazing game we play here. But you have to find out yourself. And you find out by yourself by falling out through the bottom. That's how you leave this. You just stop resisting. That's the only thing which works. And most people never stop resisting, only when they run out of power, only when they run out of strength. At some point they collapse. At some point life forces them to stop. They fall ill, they have an accident, they become severely ill or burned out, and then life forces them to stop. They can't do anything anymore. And then they find out. But you don't have to wait until life forces you. You can just stop now. It's much more pleasant. And I know what I'm talking about. I did this. That's why I'm where I am today. Thank you for your comment. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you so much.
Michael, I have a comment to read. It's not exactly a question, but I want to read it out. It's from Jessie.
Good evening, Jessie. Hello.
I hope I have announced it correctly. I'm in recovery from drugs and alcohol. I found these teachings a while ago and I'm very grateful for your teachings. Thank you.
I'm so touched that you're here. Yeah, you're at the right place. You know, just give yourself time. Give yourself time and love yourself the way you are. There's no hurry. I love you. And if you ever have a question, please write to me. Now I will read out a comment from YouTube on a video, Trusting Like a Child, Part 2. He writes, "The non-spiritual path hurts. The spiritual path hurts too. But with spirituality, sometimes you get a good Christmas bonus." I mean, this comment doesn't really have a question in it. But I want to remark something about this. You know, with spirituality, you get more than a Christmas bonus. It's like this. Normal life hurts. And it hurts for a purpose. It hurts because it's a dead-end street. Life wants to discourage you to go there, but we don't listen. And if you go on in the normal life, it doesn't lead anywhere. No matter how much pain you carry, no matter how much you try, it doesn't lead anywhere. But as soon as you stop this nonsense, as soon as you turn inside, and you find contentment inside. Initially, yes, this can hurt too, sometimes, but it's a different kind of pain. it's like sometimes you know you do something stupid and wrong, and it hurts, but you do it anyway. And it sucks. But you have no choice. That's what you're talking about. But sometimes you do something and it's the right thing. You know it. It hurts. But you know, this is right, this is okay. And that pain is a different kind of pain. And this is kind of how it is with spirituality. When you turn inside and you become quiet and you make peace with the moment and with yourself, it hurts initially, but this kind of pain is a new pain. This is like almost good pain. It's hard to describe it. It's like you know it's worth it. This pain is not in vain. And it's very short. The other pain is endless, but this pain is very short. And then it's gone. It's just old stuff you make peace with. Yeah, it's only painful as long as you run away from it. It's only painful as long as you try to avoid it. But as soon as you're willing to face your old ghosts and all these old feelings which try to meet you since many, many years, as soon as you meet them, it's painful for a short time, and then you discover, oh wow, it's nothing. And then you're done with it. And then you're content. And then, something else comes, but you know, okay, it's no problem. I'm willing for anything. Sometimes a new pain comes. You make peace with it. And it's over. This is feeling this old pain inside of yourself is really worthwhile. This is liberating you. But living a painful life out there by doing things against yourself, by doing things you don't want to do, by doing things which give you temporary pleasure or temporary relief from something else, this is just stupid. It doesn't lead anywhere. Yeah. So your comment is a kind of jokingly commenting this subject, but I wanted to say something about it because it's not a joke, This is your lifetime chance. I'm happy that you are here. Thank you for your comment. So let's see what else.
I have a question, Michael.
Ah, how nice. Thank you, Simone.
It's from Michael.
Good evening, Michael. Hello.
Hello, Michael. I want to let go, to surrender. But how do I do this? It has happened to me spontaneously a couple of times, but then I lost it somehow. Can you please speak on this topic? And if there is something I can do or not do? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your honest, beautiful question. Yeah, we cannot do this. Letting go, we cannot do letting go. You can only deal with what's here. Yeah? Let's say you are totally attached to somebody, but this somebody is not here anymore. You want to let this attachment go. You want to let this person go, but you can't. You hold on like a little child. Be with what is. Be with, in this example, be with being a little child, holding on, as if you're dependent on this other person. Yeah, maybe you are a 50-year-old man, but inside you feel like a 5-year-old. Okay, be with this. And by being with what is here, by accepting this, by letting this be here, the healing happens. We cannot let go of things we don't like. Yeah? If you have fear, if you have any internal problems, you need to welcome them. What you can let go of are thoughts. Now, if thoughts are bothering you, that's a different story. But even those, you cannot make them go away. Yeah. When you say let go, this sounds like make them disappear. That doesn't work. But you can take your attention away from them. And if you want to know how to do this, there's only one way. You need to know where to put your attention to instead. Yeah? Your attention is like a beam of light, a very powerful beam of light. It goes somewhere. So if you don't want your consciousness, your chitta on the thoughts, you need to decide where else you want to have it. Bring it inside. Bring it to the crown chakra. This is a nice help because it's such a tangible spot. Now bring it up there. Feel your crown chakra. And then you don't give attention to the thoughts. The thoughts are still there, but you don't know anything about them because you don't give them attention. And then they don't bother you anymore, and then they don't create feelings which are very unpleasant. So this is something you can do with thoughts. Ignore them. But other than that, be with what is. Yeah? I don't know what's bothering you right now. Maybe you want to tell me. But it's very simple. When we are totally direct, when we are just with what is here for me right now. Maybe something happened. Yeah, as I said, maybe somebody left you or you lost something. But you don't want this being lost. Be with this holding on. Feel this, the pain of this. Yeah, it's like it's like a little child, a stubborn, helpless little child. Be with this feeling. Be with this little child inside of you. Yeah, I know it's a little bit embarrassing when you're a man and when you're a little bit older, but hey, you are the way you are. And then be with these feelings, be with this, with whatever it feels like. Yeah. With all of your attention, with all of your love. and then see what happens. That's my recommendation. And that's why Samarpan meditation helps so much. You know, Samarpan, the word Samarpan means surrender. Surrender in German means Hingabe. And surrender means surrendering to what is. Giving up any attempt to have it different, to be different, but being willingly with what is. That is surrender. And that's what you practice in Samarpan meditation, just by being here in the crown chakra and thereby ignoring your thoughts. This process of ignoring your thoughts is the greatest surrender you can do, because then you ignore all these important sounding thoughts, all these urgent thoughts, all these deep thoughts. It's like, it feels like turning away from the world, just ignoring the thoughts. So this is an amazing help, meditating every day. Yeah. And if you have any specific question about your specific situation, please let me know. I'm happy to talk more about this. But this is how much I can answer in general. Thank you, Michael. Okay, let's see what else I have here. Here I have a short comment. It doesn't really have a question in it, but it's again a comment where I would like to add a little bit. Your video Life Without Thoughts really resonated with me, and I've tried to do this naturally. But my mind said, you are still in your mind. But because of you, I'm going to cut myself some slack. Yeah, this is very nice. Thank you for your comment. Thank you very much. Yeah, take it easy on yourself. This is what the mind does. Yeah, the mind says, you are in your mind. This is really a great joke. Yeah, I read out your comment because I want to add one thing. This whole thing is not serious, you know. The mind is so serious. The mind tells you, one moment, you can't ignore the thoughts. We are important. The mind tells you, it's all urgent, all important. It doesn't let you just rest and be happy, like a child. Osho, an Indian mystic, he said, seriousness is the only sin. Yeah. Yeah, take it easy. The same saint, Osho, said, easy is right. That's how you can recognize where you are going. If it's easy, if it's relaxed, if it's playful, if it happens naturally, that's a good way. If it's serious and important and urgent, then cut yourself some slack. Yeah. Thank you for your comment. Take it easy. This life is to be enjoyed. I think I have one more email. And then that's it. So if you guys don't have anything, I don't know what to do. So here's another email. Dearest Michael, thank you so much for your answer. You simplified everything. Your words made me realize that I received the great gift of knowing God. It doesn't matter when, how, and from whom. I get lost in and distracted by new words and new instructions, in new videos and new discourses. But they are just new, often beautiful wrappings, and they come from outside. I have come to know God in my heart. I do not experience so much the joy and the bliss and the delight of which you often speak. But I do know that there is a God, no matter how I feel, and that I can always return to Him inside. You just helped me to focus on that more than on anything else. Thank you. Thank you for your email. I read out your email, although you don't have a question, because I want to say something about this as well. And I hinted at it in the beginning of the satsang already. You know, you discover this contentment and this space of delight where there are no problems inside. And you may not know what this is, but this ultimately is heaven. That's where your soul lives. That's where you find God. And when you are in touch with this, it's so clear and so natural, and you are so sure, here I will stay forever. I will never forget this. But it's funny. All these things which happen in the moment, everything which we experience in the moment, we cannot remember. You have to live them existentially, now, always. You cannot be in heaven and then go out into the world again remembering heaven. It doesn't work. You can't. You forget. Then you are lost again. And that's what we do. It's like we discover what we were always looking for, but we don't understand what we are discovering. And then we forget again. And then we do our old stuff, our old shit again. And then we complain that we are unhappy again. We already found God. We already found heaven. But we didn't understand what it is. Swamiji says, enlightenment is easy. He said, what were his words? Yeah, discovering the truth. This is easy. But then it takes a long time, a very long time, sometimes a lifetime, until a human being understands what it is that he or she received there, what it is. And that's why I try to remind you again and again and again. And you have to be there and you have to look there, and then you experience it again. If you develop a lifestyle where your attention is always inside, no matter what you do, yeah? Doing meditation, but also doing work, doing cooking, doing eating, doing sleeping, doing making love, doing fighting. Your attention is always inside. You are always content. You're always resting in your soul. Then you experience this. But as soon as your attention goes somewhere else, you forget. And then it is as if you never knew this. And that's why it's required to be radical. You can't do this as a hobby. Maybe you started meditating. And maybe you have this experience that in meditation you are just happy. But then during the day you forget completely. And then when you meditate the next morning, or maybe you do a group meditation in the evening, then you are in the space again, and then you notice, wow, now since 12 hours or since 24 hours, I didn't think about the space again. I completely forgot. How could I forget? And that's how it is. We forget. And it takes many years until this awareness grows. Oh wow, this is it. This is it. This is what I was looking for. All these lives. Here I stay. And then you still forget. But it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. This is why it takes time. Enlightenment is easy. But then you forget again. Then you think about enlightenment. Then you think about peace. You think about happiness. But you're not happy. You remember your happiness, but you're not happy. You have to be returned to the inside in order to experience this. You just have to be there. Yeah. Thank you for your email, which gave me the opportunity to point this out one more time. Thank you.
There is another comment from Michael, which I want to read out.
Yes, please.
Thank you for your simple answer. My biggest difficulty in letting go is from when my mom left me when I was a young boy, and also letting go of anger and resentment to my dad, and letting go of people I have hurt. Also letting go of the need to have a relationship. I feel alone and I have no direction. I feel alone a lot, sorry, and I have no direction in life. I feel stuck and have no interest in the outside world when it comes to the life that most people live. I fantasize living in an ashram, but maybe it's an escape. Too much thinking.
Excuse me, say this for the ashram again.
Sorry. My fantasy is to live in an ashram, but maybe it's an escape. Too much thinking. Thank you for your presence.
Thank you. Yeah, what you just commented really resonates with me. In a way, I see myself, when I listen to you, how it was for me. I was a young man when I was young, and I couldn't be alone. I just couldn't. My mother didn't leave me when I was young, but I had my share of childhood experiences which also left its marks. And I couldn't be alone because I was, let's say it this way, I didn't receive certain things a child needs. And these needs, they just stay around. And then we are adult men and women, but we feel like needy children. And that's exactly what I was telling you earlier, you know. You cannot let go of these feelings. That doesn't work. Forget the story. Forget where the feelings come from. Forget the story of your mom leaving you when you were young. Forget the story about your father and what he did wrong and what he did to you. These are thoughts, memories. Deal with what is here for you today. The hurt, the neediness, the anger. Not anger towards somebody, not anger because, no, just anger. In reality, you don't know where this anger comes from. You have memories. It doesn't matter where they come from. They are here now. So forget the story, forget the memories, you don't need them, but let the feelings be here. And one by one, take your time, there's no hurry, make peace with them. Take the easiest and start with that. The feelings are very patient. Yeah? They're not in a hurry with you. You don't have to be in a hurry. Yeah? Just pick one feeling and start making friends with that feeling. Don't ask yourself where it comes from. Don't ask yourself who triggered this, who did something to you that you have this feeling today. It doesn't matter at all. It's totally irrelevant. It's very important for you in this life to have this feeling right now. It will help you. You don't understand right now what it helps you with, but you will find out. I know, but I want you to find out yourself. Yeah. So accept these feelings which are here. Accept them as gifts. That's your job. And ashram will not help you with this. Yeah. And ashram is an escape. If you go to the ashram to get free from these feelings. You know, it's like this. You go to an ashram, you go to a holy place in order to go inside. But you can only go inside if you are content and at peace. This is important. You can only meditate if you are content and at peace. If you're not at peace, you will not meditate. You will mindfuck. You will make some mind meditation. Yeah? But you will not meditate. You're busy in your head. That's why you first need to make peace with your inside. Yeah? These feelings have nothing to do with your parents. They're your feelings. Trust me. Make peace with your inside. Make peace with your feelings. Then you can meditate. Then, if once you are content, once you are quiet inside, if you still want to go to an ashram, fine. The ashram will help you to rest inside. But if you go to an ashram in your state, you might get help ignoring all these things, but this will not help you. This will bring you further away. It's like this, when you want to go to your soul, to God, you have to turn inside. And on the way to the inside, you have to pass your feelings. Because they are always with you. So first you have to meet them. And then once you have made friends with them, then they let you go. Yeah, it's not that you let go of them, they let go of you. Once you made peace with them. Once they know that you love them. And you can cheat them. They sense whether you really love them or not. And then you can progress further inside. And then you find everything you need. But first you need to make peace with what's on your plate right now. And I told you, I resonate totally with your comment because this was exactly my path. I made my mother so wrong. I hated my father. Now I love him. And I love my mother. I love them totally. They allow me to have this life. It's a miracle that I had such capable parents. But only after I made friends with my feelings could I see that. Before, I just... I hated my father because I was so scared of him. But now I'm not scared of the fear anymore. Now I can love my father. And I was unable to be alone just like you. And I want to tell you one thing. I tell you, make peace with the feelings. This is all you have to do. But it takes time. I told you, don't be in a hurry. When I came to my spiritual master, one of the first things he told me in a private conversation we had was, Michael, your issue is being alone. You cannot be alone. And you are much wiser than I am, or than I was. Yeah, I didn't know this. But once he told me, I found out he's right. And it took me a few years to make peace with this. Take your time. I know you long for relationship. I know you long for this connection with somebody else. But I would just suggest to you that first make friends with yourself. Establish a relationship with yourself. Meet yourself. Find out, who is this Michael? How does he feel? Meet all the inhabitants of this house called Michael. All these different guests there. Make a relationship with this. And then other relationships are easy. If you're not in peace with yourself and your feelings, any relationship you might have is basically impossible. And once you have a relationship with yourself, and once you are in peace with yourself, it is as if you could have a relationship with anybody. It doesn't even matter with whom. It's really amazing. basically, you hit on the one challenge we have in this life. That's the one difficulty we have. There's no difficulty in this life and on the spiritual path, but this one, making peace with ourselves, with the way we are, with the way we feel. And it's easiest when you don't think about it. If you think about it, if you are stuck in the story, oh, my mother did this to me, oh, my father was like this and that, then you go in circles. Yeah, you are in your head. That doesn't help. You have to forget the story. Just forget all this. Just deal with what's here, inside of you, down here where you feel. That's the only challenge we have. Once you master this, once you make friends with yourself, the whole rest is easy. Trust me, I've been there. Thank you, Michael.
I have 2 more questions, Michael.
Yeah, please.
The first one is from Sahacho.
Good evening, Sahacho. Hello, how nice that you're here.
My dear Michael, could you please say something about the physical distance to Swamiji? I won't be on the ODM grounds in May, but outside, behind the hedge. Will he cleanse and bless me? Thank you very much for your answer. I'm already laughing at my questions. Sahato from Germany.
Close your eyes and fall inside. How far away is Swamiji? There's no distance. You see, the only thing a guru does. I was reading Swamiji last night, and he always talks about this. He says, the guru doesn't give you anything. The only thing he does is, he brings you to your inside. There you find the guru, and there you find everything else. There you find God. Yeah. And when you come to the ODM and you sit outside in front of the fence, Swamiji is not inside of the fence. The people on the inside of the fence have it much harder than you, because most of these people will look at this body and they will miss to look inside. But you won't be able to see his body. You will be alone out there. You have no other choice. It will be much easier for you to go inside and find him. That's the truth. You know, this touches me so much. Thank you for your question. You know, I've never been to India. 7.5 years ago, I had never heard of Swamiji. One night, I was sitting together with Soham. There was a week of Satsang break, and after this week, during this week, he had met Benita. Benita visited him, telling him about Swamiji for the first time, on the request of Swamiji. Swamiji sent her to Soham. So Soham had heard of Swamiji for the first time. And then he came to the next satsang place, where I went to, and we met the night before, and he was telling me about this guru. And when Soham spoke the first sentences about this guru, I exploded inside. I don't know how to describe it. It was like my beloved guru came back to me and found me again in this life. I felt like up to this day I was just waiting in this life until he finds me again. But I didn't know anything about it. And from that moment on, Swamiji was inside of me again, and still is. And it's interesting, when he comes to Germany or to Austria, I want to go there. I have so much joy. I help there. I contribute with the little things I can do. And it's such a joy for me. But he's inside. And then I see all the people go to India, and I don't have any energy for this. But I know he's inside. Just like now. Thank you, Sahaja. I'm so happy that you are here. Simone?
May I read out the last question?
Yeah, please. Please.
It's from Jessie.
Yes, Jessie.
My attention wants to return to my eyes when I try to focus it on the crown chakra. It's hard to keep it steady on the crown chakra. Are you aware of the whole body while doing the Samarpan meditation?
Thank you for your lovely question. Yes, I'm aware of my body. And it's different each time, and it's also different doing this half an hour of meditation. In the beginning, often it is more like I'm in the body and I'm looking up to the crown chakra with my attention, and I'm resting with my attention here. And then at some point later during the meditation, I notice I still perceive my body, but it is as if I perceive my body now from up there. As if not only my attention is up there, but I am up there. But you know, all this is not important. Yeah? Don't think about it. It's not important. You don't have to do it right. Just this willingness, this desire just to rest here and ignore all the rest. That's enough. Yeah, my eyes do sometimes funny things, and my body sometimes does funny things. But I don't care, it's not my business. As soon as you notice that your attention is not where you want it to be, come back. But the trick is not to think about it. Yeah. Oh, I have been there with my attention, that's not good, or why does it do it all the time like this? Refuse to think about it at all, and just know it's not a problem. Yeah. The thoughts want to tell you, yeah, but I have to do it right, maybe this is a problem. Ignore the problems. Just rest here, as well as you can. This is just a help. In the beginning, I start the meditation with going with my attention to the crown chakra, but at some point I'm just inside. I don't know. It's all very mysterious. Swamiji once said, it's not serious, it's just fun. You do this meditation because it's pleasant. You just rest up there. You don't have to do anything. It's not serious, it's not important, it's not difficult. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to think, you don't have to remember anything, you don't have to solve any problems, you don't have to talk to somebody, you don't have to listen to somebody, not even to your own thoughts. This is just pleasant. It's a free holiday, a vacation. But the head wants to make something complicated and difficult and important and so on out of it. Yeah. Just be patient with yourself and enjoy. Thank you, Jessie. I'm very touched that you are here. Simone, is there anything left over?
No.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for this wonderful evening. The next English online satsang will be in 4 weeks. And write to me. I just answered all the English questions I had. The entire English world is happy. I don't have any questions to answer. And if you don't send me any more questions and any more comments, then in the next English satsang I have to talk constantly. And that's way too much work, so send me questions. I love to receive your questions. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah. And also, of course, German-speaking people can also write to me, but if I receive German questions via email or comments, I answer them in a German satsang. But you can just join live and ask me in English. I'm totally happy. Yeah. Thank you for being here. If you want to support what I'm doing, I'm totally happy if people support me financially. It's just a joy for me to do this, and I have to do it for free. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fun for me. Because, I tell you a secret. I'm the one here who gets the most out of this. By giving satsang, by listening to you, by being allowed to answer. This is like a spiritual turbo for me. This is like I'm being challenged and cleansed and enriched. Yeah, so I'm the one who gets the most benefit. That's how it feels to me. I'm being cooked and grilled and burned alive. And it's just so much fun and such a joy for me. But since I give basically all of my time and all of my energy into videos and satsang, I'm totally happy if a few people support me in this so I can relax and take the time for this. If you feel like this, go on my website on the donate page. There I tell you how you can do this. And thank you very much. Yeah. And if you're interested in Samarpan meditation, you know, I am not a guru. And I don't bring this meditation. It's not my meditation. This meditation is being brought by Swamiji, an Indian guru whose disciple I am. He brings this meditation into the world, and this meditation is especially for us normal people. I said this in the beginning of Satsang. For us normal people in society. And this is such an amazing tool. And if you want to know more about the meditation, on my website, I mean, of course, in basically all of my videos I speak about the meditation, but I'm not the original source of information. On my website I have a page called Samarpan Meditation, and if you go on this page, there I listed all the official links. Yeah, there you find information about Swamiji and some links to videos where Swamiji talks about the meditation, and to the official Samarpan meditation websites around the world. And there you get original information. Of course, I'm totally happy if you listen to me, but it's important for me to tell you, I'm not the one who brings this meditation. I'm just a human being benefiting from it just as much as you can benefit from this. Yeah. Now I could go on talking about this, but we have to stop. Until next time. Thank you for this beautiful satsang. Thank you so much that you are here. I'm blessed by you. I love you.